Hello and what is up guys, Rye here and welcome back to some more automation in BeamNG.Drive. Today, we're making a car. Of course we're making a car like always. We are making what would be a competitor to the Lada. I think it's the Riva or the Niva. It's the sedan Lada. If you guys don't know what a Lada is, it is pretty much a very cheap car from Russia. I don't know why the tires are so wide right now for this thing we just started. This is also a competitor to the Bugo, of course, AutomotiveFlux's legendary vehicle, as well as the Cominturismo. Except this is a bit newer. This is 1989. This thing's going to be, you know, basically a Lada, but worse in every way. Of course, steel panels. We're going to do a monocoque chassis. I'm not too sure what the Lada in particular had, though. But monocoque is a bit cheaper, and we're trying to save money here. Steel. Front longitudinal. It's going to be a front engine rear-wheel drive because... what else would you have? Of course, that's the way to go. Front engine, front-wheel drive is so boring. McPherson struts and semi-trailing arms, please. And we're just going to give this a little -5. That's probably fine. Just to start, semi-trailing arm because it's cheaper, and McPherson struts because it's cheaper. We'll just jump into a new engine as well. It's going to be an inline 4, all cast iron. We're going to do a push rod. I think some Ladas had direct acting overhead cam, but you know what? I think push rod is just going to be worse in general. We'll do like a 1.2 liter, sounds like a fine engine size. We're gonna do just like, yeah, I don't want it to rev at all. Just have no revs and just have torques, sure. Cast iron all the way through, obviously. We'll we'll leave this at 0, because it's gonna rev somewhat. We'll bring it down to like 8.5 to 1 compression, that's fine. Increase the cam profile a bit higher, because this thing is not gonna want to run at all. Carburetor. Because carburetors were still used in 1989, and of course this car was probably produced until like 2000 or whatever. Similar to the Lada. We're going to make it run on low quality fuel for now. I might change it to regular, maybe, we'll see. Cast iron, we'll do a 1-inch exhaust to start, and then that's fine. We don't need any of those things. Those things are useless. Don't need ignition timing. And we will lower the compression down a little farther. 7.5 to 1, oof. Yeah, it's not going to run very efficiently at all. Bit more cam profile. And just give it some fuel. That's fine. This car's not going to be great at anything, but it's going to be good at everything. You know, it won't be great at something, but it's just going to be good. That's okay. Okay. So we are knocking a bit. I think the engine's still going to run, though. That's fine. You know, the engine comes knocking from the factory. What else would you want? 30 horsepower, 33 torque. It's a pretty powerful boy. It gets 6% efficiency. That's not very good. That's okay. Very loud, actually. One thing I want to do, though, is put it to a race intake. That's going to save us some money. Look at that. We saved... about 40 cents on material cost for the engine. We save some money, and of course the service cost goes up, but that's fine. You know what, when you buy this car, it doesn't matter. You just drive it. It's $350 the service cost, that's fine. I wouldn't even worry about that. But it's much louder, which obviously is really important, and we're going to lower this down even more. It's going to be less horsepower. That's okay though. Now it's even louder. So 86 loudness. It's quite a loud vehicle. We can actually make it louder by increasing the exhaust size, but you know, it just seems boring. So we'll just leave it at 86 loudness. It doesn't need to be a better engine. We can actually... do I want it to knock? I kind of want it to knock a bit. If it runs, that's fine. Single barrel, eco carb. A very cute little engine. That carburetor looks so disappointing, but that's okay. We're going to do, of course, a sedan body here and continue on. We're going to lower the picture quality here. No, just -5. That's fine. 2-speed, man. 2-speed. We can do 2-speed still in 1989. Oh, I thought it was just 3-speed only. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll do a 2-speed automatic or manual gearbox. A hard long life, nice thin tires, because you don't need thick tires. This car is not going to go very fast. Let's be honest, guys. This car is not built for speed. It's built for, of course... yeah, what is it built for? I'm not too sure. It's cheap. You know, it's cheap. It's going to be very cost effective. Whatever those size brakes were, that's okay. And we'll just leave it a 5-seater, and we'll lower this down by 5. We don't need that. And then we'll do no power steering is probably not necessary on a vehicle this light, and we can do like basic 70 safety because this car has it's still got to meet some sort of requirement, just not very much. The 1,700 pounds, 10 miles per gallon, 57. That's pretty bad reliability, my gosh. But the cost, this is where the car really shines. $8,000, which seems not terrible. Alright, so now what we're going to do is design the car. I also want to tweak the price. I want to get the price down a bit more. $8,000, it's great. It's affordable. At $20, it's a very cheap car, let's just say that. But I think we can do a bit more to get the price down. As well as after that, I'm going to design the car, make sure it's all tippity-top. Then we're going to drive it in BeamNG.Drive. So sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay guys, so we are designing our Lada Riva competitor slash similar vehicle, basically also competing against the Cominturismo and the Bugo. Sure. So the first things first, obviously I'm starting with a front end, and this is going to take a lot of design cues from the Lada Riva. Of course, the body is not the exact same, but it's the closest one that I found at this time in automation, using all vanilla, no mods. Next, I'm slowly working on the color, adding a big old grille with some bar slats through it, and then basically a double headlight system with a turn signal underneath. Now working on a single wiper on the top there, adding on a mirror on the side, and then just adding a few details to the front end. The front end's quite simple, not a lot going on there. Even less going on is going to be the side profile, and basically the rest of the car. This car is quite simple, quite easy going. It's a basic car, it's basic transportation. Adding a bit of black piping on the sides and on the bottom around the entire car, adding a bit of detail of that, and then working on a front emblem or a logo for the vehicle, basically copying similar design to a modern Lada, with my own unique, I guess, like sigil for the car company. Why not? Adding some more piping around the back there, and then just working on the colors, seeing if I can improve it. I finish off with this orangey kind of brown, kind of yellow color, which I love a lot. Actually, this is an awesome color. Next, onto the back end. I am working on the taillights, adding a turn signal and a reverse light, similar to the front end design, but a bit different, obviously, for the back end. Adding a simple latch, and then working on what I'm going to do on the middle, which I end up putting an American-style license plate, and then just a few details here and there, like a gas cap, and so on, basically. I'm just making sure the car is tip-top shape, finally putting the name on of the Bada. And then I'm figuring out what to do for the name. The Bada Supremo is going to be the final name. And of course, Bada is the brand name as well as the model name. So Bada produces the Bada, as well as maybe other cars. I'm not too sure. Basically tweaking a bunch of stuff. And like I said, in front of us is the 1989 Bada Supremo. Alright guys, so we have finished finally, the 1989 Bada Supremo, Bada, similar to Lada, except it's not, copying the same theme as AutomotiveFlux making the Bugo, and then the Cominturismo follows other Soviet cars of the time. This is my Russian tank, even though it's literally a feather, weighing 1,900 pounds. Actually is a fantastic weight distribution for not even doing anything at all. You could probably get this thing to 50-50, no problem. Maybe a sports bottle will come up at some point. The 28 horsepower, a pushrod 4-cylinder engine, 2-speed automatic. The best part about this car, before we look at the design obviously, is that it can do 100 kilometers an hour in 104 seconds, which, you know, it's speed. It does drive. That's something. With only 28 horsepower, I'm not complaining. I like it. Starting with the design on the front, so it has a similar theme to the Lada, I think the Riva, which is the sedan. If I'm not mistaken, the Lada Riva. Let's check. Lada Riva. The Lada Riva is the sedan. Okay, yeah, it's similar to the Lada Riva in the front end. I went with my own artistic approach, so obviously I don't want to copy the Lada. I put a badge similar to the new Ladas, have like this oval badge from what I could find. I just made my own badge. I made an owl with bird wings, because why not? I think it looks cool. That's all that matters. Basically a big old grille with some bars going across, connecting to the headlights. A primary headlight with, like, I guess a high beam down here. That's a bit smaller, and we also have a big turn signal right there. Big old plastic bumper with a strip of chrome, because, you know, this thing is $6,000 after all. It's got to have some sort of luxuries, right? You're paying for the chrome. Then a little bit of vents down here just with some accents, and then some trim going around the entire side of the vehicle. A turn signal up there. We have some vents basically on the hood with a single wiper, because although this thing is $6,000, it's quite luxurious. We only can afford one wiper, obviously. Nice white wheels. I think the theme for that was you can get any color you want for the wheels as long as it's white, because that's the only color they have, even though white's probably more expensive than black would be cheaper probably, I'm thinking, but that's okay. White looks cooler. Plain Jane side profile, nothing really, you know, on it intentionally. I could have put some details in it, but looking at the Lada Riva, it doesn't really have much on it either way. just some black piping along the bottom, and then we have pretty much a steel kind of trim on the sides. Going to the back, similar design theme to the front. We have big old reverse light or big old brake light, and we have a turn signal which is a bit smaller, similar to the headlights, and we have another piece that's just the reverse light. We have a classic retro theme Bada badge on the side. This is 1989. You know, things are advancing. The price of the car is slowly rising, and they can afford a nice badge. And the badge is Bada because this car is, of course, badass. I don't know. A latch to open up the trunk. I'm not sure if that'd be functional at all, but they don't care about functionality. And then a bumper similar to the front bumper, and a license plate just to add a bit of detail. On the side, just a very simple gas cap with a hinge, an actual exterior hinge, because that saves money, obviously. And I kind of like it. Okay, so other things about the car real quick here. I did decrease the quality of the chassis to -15 because, you know, who needs a good chassis anyways? And a bit of tweaking here and there. The trim body is down to -15. The safety is down a little bit more, and the suspension is down, I think, a bit as well. And the... what else? The brakes are down as well. The brakes actually, they look like they'll be fine. They'll be actually probably one of the best aspects of the car. So what's the only thing left to do is, of course, to drive this thing in BeamNG.Drive and see how it drives. So I'll see you guys there in just 1 second. Alright guys, so we're here in Hirochi Raceway, BeamNG.Drive obviously. This is the Bada Supremo. And I didn't want to run properly really in BeamNG.Drive, so Ivan, of course, moderator on my server, helped me out and got it to work. There's a bit of a glitch there, but the transfer were pretty much good. It ran in BeamNG.Drive, it just died always because it's a small engine and it's, yeah, very, very terrible. So yeah, BeamNG.Drive, Hirochi Raceway, we're doing 1 lap of the short race circuit, I think. Just to see how this thing drives, and spoiler alert, it's not great. So we'll just take a look, quick walk around. So it's got some Lada-esque design in it, and it's got some other stuff I think in it as well, but let's just jump into first person here. The engine's quite loud, we do have a race exhaust. It is quite revvy. But you can see first gear, a pretty normal first gear, about 50 kilometers an hour. That seems normal, and then you get to second, and boy, is it second. It's definitely not a short gear. We might get around this whole thing without changing back down to first, because first is too slow and second is way too long. That's okay. This is definitely a slow car. I think it would give the Bugo a run for its money for being the fastest car alive, clearly. But 100 kilometers an hour, it could do it. 100 seconds later. No need to even brake, really. Just let off the gas just a bit so you don't crash it. The handling, it's a little bit oversteer, but it's quite neutral on the handling. Like, I didn't have to do too much. This thing is quite light, and it's in a rear-wheel drive. Oh god, we're still in second, even braking there. Oh my gosh, it's just sad. It sounds so disappointing. It's so bad. Revs to 6,000 RPM, which is just awful. But hey, this is 1989, guys. But again, this is probably the same tech they would have used until 2012, much like the actual Lada Riva. Fun fact, guys, the Lada was made designed like this from like 1970s or whatever to like 2000s, which is crazy, to 2010s. Barely slow down here at all. 70 kilometers now, taking that turn like a champion. Honestly, not even like the worst lap ever. It's quite slow, but it's quite good handling. I'm not sure if you can say that about the actual Lada, because I haven't driven one. Look at that. Just hugs the corner. I think the really good weight distribution is working in this thing's favor, and I would like to make a sport version of this, like a modern, a more slow, newer sport version. And a 153, that's probably my worst time ever. The brakes, they're there. Let's see here, is that... oh, it's not even my top 50. Well, we're gonna go free room, I guess, and just cruise around. I just want to see the brakes. 50 kilometers an hour. I mean, they are drum brakes. They're gonna overheat, but not at these speeds you're doing in this thing. 70 kilometers an hour was like what we're achieving. Can we even do a burnout? Can't even spin the tires, can it? Can we do... well, that's weird. That's weird. We sit in, so that I'm not using the clutch at all. I'm just using the brake here. Oh, the exhaust still comes to the back for some reason. That's okay. Bit of a handbrake turn there. Look at this thing just driving off in the distance. kind of a cool stance to it. I like, oh gosh, there's a fence there. I'm a fan of how it looks. Honestly, it's a pretty nice looking vehicle. I'm pretty happy with it. Like, what is this? So it's $6,000. It's $6,000 in 2012. I just want to see the actual dollar. Let's take a guess here of what it actually is. So it's about $7,000 in 2020 money, which is the cheapest new car on sale. But if we go 6,000, how much would this cost in 1980? So in 1980, the cost of this thing, if we're using inflation properly, would be about $3,000. And if we go back to even earlier, so if this car was for sale at this price in 1970, it'd be a $1,000 car. Holy crap, is that cheap? That's nuts. But in 1989, the year this car that I built this car for was $3,200. So it's competing pretty much directly against the actual Yugo, except, you know, the Bada is much cooler, obviously, and sold in Western markets. So pick up your Bada today for $6,000. Basically, just a simple test and stuff with the car. It drives fine. Surprisingly, it drives fine. I don't know how. It's so slow. The second gear is so unnecessarily terrible. I love it. You know, you gotta have one quirk in your car, and the quirk is this thing can do 70 kilometers an hour, and that's pretty much it. Like, can we take a turn here? That was nearly 50 kilometers an hour. That was not bad. That was not bad. It handles quite well. And we'll take the turn here. I guess we're just gonna finish off the video here. If you guys like this build, this is kind of more of a chillax build, not a crazy detailed design build, but more of a fun build. And I've been wanting to build a competitor to the you know, the Bugo and the Cominturismo for a while. This is my take on this pretty much, you know, Soviet era-ish Eastern Bloc kind of really cheap vehicle, or not really cheap for them. I mean, it's probably an average vehicle there, but for this would not be okay here. Hey, look at that. Spun the tires just a bit there, and look, it's not bad looking. We got little headlights, we got turn signals. Look at that. That's more than enough. That's all you need, really. The headlights and turn signals. If you guys like this build, leave a like down below. It means a lot to me, helps me a lot. Join the Discord, which is linked in the description. You guys are watching this today. This is coming out on Wednesday. There's going to be a live stream at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, a multiplayer live stream playing some Assetto Corsa, probably. I'll notify people on Discord 1 hour before, so join the Discord, linked in the gosh darn description. If you guys have ideas for more cars, if you guys want to see me build a performance version of this, let me know in the comments down below. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see you next time.